self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists back for another episode. What I'm going to need y'all to do
I was going to do country grammar. Never mind.
You want to?
No.
We can restart?
Nah, it's okay.
I mean, we're talking about it now.
Nah.
Okay. I would have done it in place, but I don't care about Nelly enough to.
I just forgot, and then I thought about it, but it was too late, so it wasn't meant for me to do.
Did you listen to his first? I bought his first album.
Yeah, but country grammar is the only thing I remember off of it. But I knew I listened to the whole album.
I don't remember nothing else.
But country grammar, yeah, that's why I'm gonna do country grammar.
What I need y'all to do is find me at Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on-point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it into our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist with an S at gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook and send it to us in a message there as well. This week, we have a multi-part question, basically about narcissistic personality disorder, it seems.
Brought to you in part by Donald J. Trump. What did J stand for? Jumpman?
It is not Jumpman.
Donald Jumpman Trump?
I forgot what J stands for because I don't give a fuck. But
Gigolo?
It's like, it's not, it's a name.
Donald
like
Gigolo Trump?
John, Donald, I don't know. I don't remember.
It would have to be really white.
Yeah. I don't care enough to remember. Right. I know Barack Hussein Obama, but I don't know
like
what the J stands for.
Jonesboro or something. Donald Jonesboro Trump.
That just sounds like a cultist. But I don't know what the J. I've seen what it is, but I just don't remember.
I'm going with Jumpman.
This
is brought to you in part by Donald Jumpman Trump. You seen the Jumpman? You seen him?
Yeah.
Dunking them paper towels on folks' heads?
That motherfucker. Yeah, I have seen that.
Okay. Donald Jumpman Trump.
Oh, my God.
Question. What treatments are available for people with narcissistic personality disorder? How do you identify somebody with it? And if you had a loved one that was experiencing the symptoms of NPD, how would you bring up the topic of them seeking help? Or would you secretly plan your distance/exit? Now, let's go with the first one. What treatments are available for people with narcissistic personality disorder?
None.
So before we answer that again, because Red just answered it, then we're going to read through all of the criteria for...
Well, that's the answer to the second question. The second question was, what are the characteristics, or how do you identify?
Identify someone with it.
That's how you identify.
You're right. What treatments are available for people with narcissistic personality
disorder? None. Narcissistic personality disorder is, like most of it's a disorder of who they are. So usually if you have somebody in a therapist's office who has narcissistic personality disorder, they are either there because the court ordered them to from some kind of unrelated incident, or they're there in some kind of family/relationship type counseling. And in that case, they're only there because the other person is the problem. Like, narcissists don't believe that anything is wrong with them, so they're not going to seek out treatment. And because they don't, part of identifying and making a change is identifying that a change needs to be made. And for narcissists, that part of the equation does not exist. So narcissists they are who they are. I mean, I don't know of any it just is what it is. They're narcissistic.
I mean, through counseling and consistently coming to counseling, they can at some point realize the functional effect of changing some of their behaviors.
But they would have to continue coming long.
Yeah, they would have to come for a long time. I mean, they have to have some kind of their own personal intrinsic reason for continuing to come to counseling, because they're not going to believe something is wrong with them.
No.
But over time, they can come to change some subtle things about it, were they to see how it's impacting their environment. And a lot of times it would be under the pretense of like how you can help people help themselves.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily you're changing so you can be better, but you're changing so they don't inconvenience you type situation.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the narcissistic personality.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've only encountered one textbook case, and the only reason that he was coming to therapy is because he felt like his wife needed to make some changes. And so he was only there basically for me to tell her how she was fucking up and she needed to change. Like, he would never have come on his own because in his mind, he really thought that there was nothing wrong with him. Like, it's just amazing. It was amazing to me, even in like, you know, doing diagnosis and in school, and you know, you see these characteristics, but you never like think that you're gonna see them in a person and see, like, you hear the characteristics and you think to yourself like, nobody could have all of these, or nobody could have like a bunch of these. He had all 9. Like, I'm not even joking. And talking to him was so surreal. Like, he really thought that he was just the most amazing person on the planet, and if anything was going wrong in his life, it was because of the other people in it. If left to his own devices, and if he was able to control everything, his life would be amazing because he would know exactly what to do because he was amazing. So I don't ever want to have to work with another one again. It was terrible. But the second part, so you're gonna answer question 2 now about how do you identify them?
Yeah. So, in order to be diagnosed with NPD, you have to meet how many of these?
5.
5 of 9 of
Yes.
these criteria.
Now,
So,
only having 5 and 9 doesn't mean that you would not encounter somebody that had, like I said, I had a client that he had all 9, so it's
yeah,
possible.
this 5 is the minimum by which you see the pair. So the DSM is not supposed to be a labeling device. It's not
Yes.
supposed to be somewhere you say this person has that. We do that with it, but it's really supposed to be a clustering of behaviors that lead you down a path of treatment.
Yeah.
We the one, like, we put those words on people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like just a clutter of a bunch of different ways that we as professionals use to know where we go in the treatment of that person.
Yep.
So you got to meet 5 of 9 of these. A pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, and lack of empathy, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, as indicated by 5 or more of the following. 1, has a grandiose sense of self-importance. For example, exaggerates achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements.
Yeah.
That one is Donald Trump.
Yes.
He has that. Kanye West has that.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of people we can think of that have that.
Yeah.
I don't meet many people in like common interaction
Yeah.
that have that, because I think you have to have like a close enough interaction and relationship with them to see these things
Unless
building
they're
up and
like,
stacking up.
It depends on the severity of it, I guess. Because like with Donald Trump, a perfect example of that is the crowd size that he is like obsessed with. Still bringing up, like, it doesn't matter how big the crowd was or not. You're president, but like he kept force feeding this every chance he got, because people had to know that yes, my crowd size was huge. It was huge. It was big and huge, because those are the words he likes to use. So yeah, I guess it depends on the severity, because like most of the people that I meet are not like that, but there are people who would do that upon first meeting you. I feel like you could go out on a date with somebody who was just kind of talking about all of the stuff they've accomplished. Like, I don't know that you would have to be that close to them, depending on like the severity of it.
Yeah. Is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love.
Donald Trump again.
Yep.
Absolutely.
As it pertains to unlimited success.
Yes.
As it pertains to power.
Yes.
He don't know what the word brilliance means.
No.
So, beauty, maybe ideal love. 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions.
I don't know if that one. I think that would be one you would have to be closer to him to. I don't know if we could say that one applies.
I mean,
he surrounded
only
himself.
associating with special or high status people. Like his cabinet, full of billionaires, like the most money any cabinet has ever had. Like,
Yeah.
None of it is about the people. It's all about the access, the wealth, and the power that they have.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And the influence.
Yeah.
Requires excessive admiration.
Oh my God.
This goes into the dialogue about them having to put his name in documents just so he would keep reading
They have
them.
to put it in there like so many times so that he will continue to read the document and not lose interest.
Like they have to put the Donald Trump version of Run Spot Run
Pretty
into
much.
documents that he reads.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has a nice tie. Going back to the North Korea situation type, that's what it sounds
Yeah, 'cause
like they have to do.
Otherwise, he won't read the whole thing.
Has a sense of entitlement, for example, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations.
He gets on Twitter anytime somebody says anything unfavorable. He is on Twitter attacking that person and getting upset about it.
Little bitty Twitter fingers.
Not realizing that do you know how much bullshit was said about Obama? Do you know how much bullshit was said about Bush? Do you just the president in general? You're going to have a section of the population that you're never going to be able to make happy, no matter whether you're Republican or Democrat. He cannot accept that. He calls for people to be fired because they say things about him that he doesn't like.
Bruh, he can't accept that from black people, it seems.
I don't think he can accept it from anybody because
I mean,
look at some of the people he done fired. Like he literally just out here firing motherfuckers left and right if they don't fall in line with what he wants or what he thinks or whatever the case may be. And now there's somebody who apparently called him a moron and now he about to fire his ass too. Tillerson. So,
Secretary of State.
I mean, he can't take it from black people. That is true, but I feel like his ego is such that it don't matter. Like he firing people within his own cabinet because
firing people in his cabinet is far different than just randomly roasting somebody on Twitter. And that's all he do with people like Steph Curry. That's all he do with these NFL protesters. That's all he did with Jamel Hill.
But he called for her to be fired.
And
he firing people in his
the first member of his little task force that left the black guy was the only one.
Yeah.
Like he was the first, and a bunch of the other ones followed. But like, seems to be black people. There's a variable in how he deal with it. And you can go back to the Central Park 5. You can go back to the reports of how he dealt with black people in his apartment complex.
Hispanic people in his complex.
You can really go
Just
back and
brown
look
people
at
in
his
general.
history and see that it's been a problem with how he interact with those groups. So
did he question a Hispanic judge about whether or not he was going to be able to do
whether he would be able to make a fair judgment because the case was about Latino people. So really,
Yeah. He's a terrible person. But yeah, that one fit him.
it fits very
Absolutely.
much so.
What number are we on?
6.
He got 6. You only have to have 5. But
Well,
let's
that
go
was
through
5.
it. That was 5. So
Yeah.
he got 5. He there already.
Yeah, he's there. Is interpersonally exploitative. For example, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends.
Yes.
Now we're gonna get to talking about Pence and how Trump did that with Pence.
Yeah.
Just in this last week, but he does this so often.
Yeah.
That it's ridiculous.
His wife, that show ass marriage that he got going on.
His daughter, he exploits a lot of people.
Oh, his daughter.
He exploits a lot of
Talk
people.
about the daughter. Yeah, he does.
I mean, he's exploiting the national anthem, the flag, and the country and servicemen right now.
Yeah.
With the dialogue as it pertains
He
to
will
getting the
exploit-
NFL to kneel.
He'll
Stop
exploit
kneeling.
anything he needs to in order to reach his own end, which is why that one that counts.
7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others.
Yep.
As his name, Donald Jumpman Trump, suggests, when he was in Puerto Rico,
He was throwing paper towels at people.
there were people in there looking to communicate with the president, looking to hear some positive words of affirmation from the leader of our country, arguably the highest position in the world. And he walked up to that table, picked up a pack of paper towels, and threw them into the crowd.
Like he was throwing free
I mean,
T-shirts at a baseball
no,
game.
it wasn't. Because he flicked the wrist. He
Look at
flicked
the
the
flick
wrist.
of the
That
wrist.
was a free throw at minimum. At best, that was a Steph Curry tray ball that he was trying to throw.
So insensitive. These people have lost and then he made comparisons to Katrina and was like, y'all only had 16 deaths. And then it wasn't like a real crisis like Katrina was. Like, he just insensitive as fuck. He has no ability to empathize with people going through things that he has not gone through. He just can't.
He was all like trying to pronounce Puerto Rico. Did you hear that? Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. He couldn't even roll his tongue because he got old man tongue. That's why he couldn't roll it.
Just say Puerto Rico. Like, just
say it regular. Say it white man speak.
It's so condescending, and it's so like he does not have the ability to empathize. He really cannot see why these things are a problem. Like, it's gonna be fake news or people being sensitive. You don't throw paper towels at people who just lost everything. That is just rude as fuck. Like,
it's mislabeling to say he was throwing them at them. He was throwing them to them.
he was throwing them at them, because it ain't like he had one. He wasn't looking at this person throwing it directly into them. I feel like he was just throwing it into the crowd in general, and he was just like, they'll fight over them, and whoever get it. Like, throwing it to them would be if he had picked the person in the crowd and was like trying to get it to that specific person.
I think that depends on whether they caught him or not.
I mean, if I was there, I'd have been standing there so fucking dumbfounded. I wouldn't have been catching shit. Like, is this nigga really throwing paper towels right now? Is this how we gonna get our supplies? Really? He gonna throw them into the crowd? All right.
And the most disappointing part is a lot of people continue to condone and justify and rationalize his behavior. People were saying that it's a joke. You know,
those people lost everything. It's not a joke. That's not a time to make a joke. You're standing in the midst of people who gonna be 2-3 months without power. Some of them have lost everything that they have. You have people that are sick that need electric, like respirators and those kind of things that don't have access to them now because of how it's nothing to joke about. This isn't the time to be making a joke. So even if that was the case, it's insensitive as fuck because of the surroundings and the circumstances. That doesn't make it okay. Even if he was joking, that's equally as bad, because you don't know how to manage a crisis situation. If you think that a hurricane coming and ripping through an entire place and fucking everything to shit is a time for you to make jokes, you're still insensitive and you still have no ability to be empathetic. Like, it doesn't change it. It's the same. It doesn't matter what his reasoning was. It was fucked up. People are stupid. They make excuses for him.
Yeah. 8 is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Lord.
What's an example of that? I don't know. I feel like he's always envious of other people. That's why I think that But
he covers it up with making it seem like he one of those people who make it seem like everybody is envious. Like, nobody envies you, sir. Like, ain't nobody out here trying to be you.
Ain't nobody out here trying to put tape on their ties to keep it together. Nobody out here putting ketchup on their steaks.
Nobody trying to be orange. Well, there are white people that are trying to be orange. He look like a Oompa Loompa. Ain't nobody combing over the hair. Like, ain't nobody trying to be you, sir. But that's what he feels like. Because he can't see anything being wrong with him, so everybody's just envious of him, which is bullshit.
It's preposterous. Very much so preposterous.
Pretty much.
Shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes.
All day, every day. That he wake up out of the bed and haughty and arrogant. Soon as them little feet hit the floor.
Before that, when he go on his midnight poops, because you know he old man, he gotta like take a dookie at 1 and like another one at like 5:37.
I hate you.
Specifically, those times exactly.
He literally has all.
And he be on the toilet on his phone
tweeting. Ko-Fei-Fei.
Ko-Fei-Fei.
Because wasn't that like in the middle of the night when he texted that shit out?
Yeah, Steph Curry, you weren't invited.
Yeah.
NFL owners, y'all better stop these players from kneeling.
Yep.
They beat y'all.
Yep. He has literally all 9 of them.
He got all of them.
There are examples just in the short amount of time that he's been president that will support all 9 of those things.
Yeah.
So that's how you identify them. What if they have 5 of those 9? Then you are more than likely dealing with somebody that has narcissistic personality disorder.
The bottom line is that boy got problems.
Yeah, pretty much. And the last question was, how do you let somebody know? You don't. That's the answer to that. You don't.
Last time we went through antisocial personality disorder to find that he met all the criteria for that as well, which is basically sociopathy or psychopathy. We won't go through that this time, but if you ever get a chance to look up the criteria for that, look it up.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that the best thing that you can do for a loved one or anybody in your environment that you think has narcissistic personality disorder and is causing you some kind of problems, the best thing you can give them is these hands.
Do not fucking listen to this. No. Okay. Don't.
If you give them a 3-piece, and I ain't talking about from Mr. Shark's fish and chicken, I'm talking about giving them paws. They gonna know not to bring that narcissism around you. Okay,
don't give them
because it's no way that they gonna believe that they're a part of the problem.
No, they're not going to believe that they have not. They're going to find all kinds of reasons why that's not true. What you can do is to just separate yourself from that. Now, if it's a family member, just deal with them on an as-needed basis. And if it's somebody you're in a relationship, bitch, run. Get out of there quick.
Leave.
Fact. Because, like, again, what you have to understand about all of the personality disorders is they are exactly what they say. They are disorders of the personality. Personality is basically who you are. And so, while all of them may have, narcissistic don't have a lot, but all of them may have treatment that can assist in making it a bit better. This is essentially who that person is. So it's not going to be no huge drastic changes that come from therapy with these people.
And yes, you can distance yourself from them.
Yes.
But if you want them to distance themselves from you,
do not give them
you
these
give
hands.
them bops. I just want to let you know. That's what you do.
Don't get them these hands. Just separate yourself from them. Because it ain't, listen, like I said, the case that I had, it was a couple. And, you know, she, at the point that they started coming, I think she had been married to him like 16, 17 years. He was the same the whole time. Like, this is who they are. It's not, and even with her coming, he didn't change. He was like, it's her. It's her. If she would make these changes, shit would be perfect. It ain't me.
All I'm saying is, if they believe they are fantastic and great at everything and that they're the best thing since sliced bread, which I can seem to think of a lot of better things than sliced bread, so I don't know why that became a quote. Like, were they just not slicing bread at first? No, because they breaking bread.
They were breaking bread. But it wasn't like neatly cut slices. They
exactly.
Were just
so you couldn't really make a sandwich right because they weren't slicing it, they was breaking it.
Now you can make like perfect sandwiches.
Okay, so not the bread being about just cutting it is but
we got all the way off on a tangent.
I forgot what I was finna say. What was I at?
If you got somebody that thinks they're perfect, you ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna change their mind. I think that's where you was going with it. I don't know.
Okay. If you're in an environment with somebody who think they perfect, think they the best, think they wondrous, everything, they better than sliced bread, the best thing you can do for them, second best thing, is show them that you got hands and that they can't beat you hands.
You said it's second best. What's the first?
Oh, giving them hands because you want them to remove themselves from you. This one is you giving them hands, they stay in your environment, but you get to say you good at everything except protecting yourself against these hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't
listen to On Point. He is the king of having y'all do this petty shit that he would never do himself because he's not a petty person.
I don't put myself in positions to have to employ my own pettiness. I'm just helping people get some kind of internal satisfaction out of unfortunate circumstances.
Just separate yourself. And you definitely, like, if you're in a relationship, you don't want to have a kid with a narcissist because trying to raise a child with a narcissist when that child came from him or her, that sometimes extends to the child, sometimes it doesn't. So then you're going to have to deal with, well, no, little Timmy's, no, that's fine. He's being creative. Let him be creative. And you're going to have, Timmy going to be out here doing all kind of fuck shit. So just separate yourself. Don't let it get to that point. Don't be out here procreating with narcissists. Just separate yourself from the situation. And like I said, you can't, family is family, but you do get to choose how much you interact with that family member, and just don't fuck with them, because you're not going to be able to say, hey, you know what I think you have narcissistic personality disorder. Here are the characteristics, and I think you have 6 of them, and all you need is 5. They're not going to be like, oh my God, I've been wondering what was wrong with me. Thank you. I'm going to go expeditiously to the therapist and no, that's not going to happen. They're going to think you're crazy and that you hating on them. You just jealous of all the greatness that is them. Just run. That's my advice. Just run, because it ain't going to get much better. Like I said, even if they were to go and get therapy, it's a long process, and a lot of them are not going to stick with it long enough for it to make any progress, because it's like, there's nothing wrong with me. Why am I even going? Like, I'm good.
They're not going to be what you need them to be.
No, they're not.
It don't really matter how long they in therapy. They're not going to be what you need them to be.
No. So, yeah, just run. That's the answer. Just go find you somebody else.
If you don't want to run,
don't give them these hands.
I was finna say walk briskly. Okay, but make sure you're just going in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Of where that person is. And they say somebody is made for everybody.
Yeah.
Probably not narcissists, but they gonna have somebody. They gonna have somebody.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who. They'll have somebody, but like I said, this lady stayed with him for like 16 years, and she at some point was like, well, maybe it is me, because he had been like force feeding her that it was her this whole time. So somebody who, like me, it would never work, because automatically off top, like, no, you're not perfect and neither am I, and we both need to work on some shit, and if you ain't willing to work on your shit, then I can't be here. But you do have people that would not be able to do that. So yeah, they get married, they have, they do shit. So obviously there's some people out there that can deal with the shit, but it's gonna be at a great cost to you and your sanity, trying to deal with somebody who constantly thinks that they're perfect. Because if they're perfect, then you have to be the problem. So they're gonna be constantly trying to get you to change, to be, to fix the situation. So just run.
True.
Get out of there.
True.
Just get the fuck out of there, man.
That's true.
I hate you.
I got a lot of voices in my head today.
Yes. You have a lot of voices every day.
I do.
They just don't get to hear all of them.
Yeah, most of them are not. I do them alone.
Yes.
I practice like different accents and voices, like if I was a cartoon character.
You might need to do some voiceover work. Maybe you can get in on a new season of
I
Rick
live in
and Morty.
Alabama.
That's true.
Nobody act around here.
No, they don't. Well, there's some people that act poorly.
Act out. Kids and adults. We therapists. We know what they be doing.
Yeah,
out
we
here.
do. I guess that answers the question. Hopefully, that answers the question for you. So yeah, if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, of course, and hit us up, send us a message. We'll read it and
also
answer it on the show.
Also, to add to that, if you got hands
and
you want to let your narcissistic friends know who the deal is, hit them with a little 3-4 piece.
I'm telling y'all, don't be listening to him, because he's not gonna come bail you out of jail when you give him that 3-piece and they call the police on your ass. He's not gonna bail you out. He's not gonna. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen.
You can call me. You don't know my phone number or my real name, but you can try.
Oh my God. All right. I guess since I started out wanting to do country grammar, we can start off with Nelly. So Nelly has a rape. He got arrested actually on a rape allegation. So this is according to TMZ. The woman claims that she and her friends were partying at Nelly's table. She got tipsy, got invited to an after party, left with Nelly's people, and was then taken to Nelly's tour bus. The 21-year-old then claims that she and Nelly were in his room, and she said no when he tried to have sex with her. She also alleges that Nelly told her to shut up and added that he wanted to have sex with her without a condom. After the alleged rape, the woman claims that that's when Nelly offered her money, and when a different woman came in the room and said, "You gotta go," She claims the woman proceeded to throw her off the bus and threw $100 at her. And of course, Nelly is saying that this isn't true and that this did not happen. You know, I don't know. First of all, I talked to Cole Jackson from Government Names, and he was like,
Government Name?
He was like, ain't nobody out here trying to fuck Nelly. And I was like, women still still find Nelly attractive. Like, yeah, he ain't really making music no more, but bitches are still like out here grouping it up for Nelly. So,
but clearly that wasn't the case. Like, that's the opposite of rape.
Well, no, but like, I guess he even saying like agreeing to like go on his tour bus and stuff, like, who give a fuck about Nelly? But women still care.
It's folks out here trying to bang Charlie Wilson.
Oh Jesus, that's true.
Ronald Isley.
Oh my God.
Man, they balls set long ago.
Yeah.
The sun set on their balls a long time ago, and it's women out here throwing their drawers on stage. Y'all think it ain't some Nelly fans out here who remember? Now, why you would be a 21-year-old Nelly fan?
Well, that was another one of his points. He's like, she don't know nothing about Nelly, but like, you gotta understand, the same way that I did not grow up in the era of Marvin Gaye, I'm still a fan, and I still listen to his music. I still listen to Kool and the Gang. I still listen to The Temptations. I listen to music that's not from my era. And for her, Nelly is kind of the equivalent for a 21-year-old.
Would you hang out with they sunset balls?
Hell no. But that's me. That's me. And Nelly isn't, I don't know, I guess physically he don't look the same as like, first of all, most of them, the Temptations is dead, all of them except for Otis. So even if I wanted to, it wouldn't happen, but I wouldn't.
You know, Nelly got a big head.
He does.
If he headbutt somebody, it's a wrap.
True.
He probably got a thick skull too.
I'm sure he does. Like, and of course I'm not victim shaming at all. All I will say is that me as a woman, if I go to like a concert at this point with all of this shit about all of these rappers doing fuck shit like this, even if I got invited, like, I'm not going. I'm good. Like, I came to see you in concert. I'm good. Like, I'm not gonna go on your tour bus just because I know that this type of thing fucking happens. We see this shit a lot. And so for me, I would not. I'm also not 21, but I feel like even 21-year-old Red probably, I'm just a suspicious motherfucker. I watch too much ID channel, so I don't trust niggas. I came to the concert to see you. I saw you. I'm good. I know that after parties in hotel rooms and tour buses get crazy, and I know niggas get out of pocket and feel like because you're this guy that you can have whatever you want, and I'm not finna deal with that shit. I'm good with seeing you in concert. So that's me. I don't trust none of these artists at this point to want to go hang out with them. Like, I don't feel like they want to hang out with me because I'm cool. Like, I just seem like a cool chick. Like, I don't feel like that's what it would be. So I personally would decline.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're going to hang out with a celebrity like that, you need a body cam or some glasses with some of them spy glasses or some kind of recording audio device or something. You think by now that people would know that being in a tour bus or a hotel room or anywhere with a celebrity is going to be at best a high pressure sales situation.
Yep.
At worst, a sexual assault and or rape.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't make it right, but it's like it's one of them situations where I'm not gonna leave my car unparked in like a fucked up ass place in town because I already know what could potentially happen. So for my sake, I'm not gonna do nothing like that. And I feel like this is that same kind of situation. I know that a lot of hip hop artists, especially now, have this mentality of, you know, I'm Nelly, I'm whoever, and so you here, so this is what finna happen. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be in that situation. So for me, like I said, I would decline. Like, that doesn't make me any less of a fan of yours, but like, just for my safety, I'm not finna come to your fucking tour bus or hotel room or whatever the fuck it is. I came to see you in concert. And I saw, I'm going the fuck home. Or to this club down the street with my girls. I'm not coming to your bus or your hotel room. That being said, that don't let Nelly off the hook. If he raped her, he absolutely deserves to be punished for it. Now, will he be punished for it? I don't know. That's another thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you also see these situations where these allegations are made and then either it just get dropped altogether or people get paid out of court. Like, it's just, I wouldn't want to go through that. I wouldn't. Then let him off the hook, not victim blaming. All I'm saying is, to any ladies that are listening, if you get invited to a hotel, and I know you get starstruck and it sounds like a good idea, just think back to all of these stories, the Nellies, the Mysticals, all of these situations where these women have had these situations happen. It's just not worth it, because maybe he is a good guy. Maybe you will just go and party and hang out and chill with them and have a good story to tell. The odds ain't in your favor though, especially when alcohol and potentially drugs are involved. Like, no. And
I talked about this before. It's really hard when having this conversation as it pertains to women and rape, because and victim shaming.
Yeah.
Because if I went to a neighborhood and every time I went there I get my window busted out, and you know, I tell all my friends that every time I go there my window get busted out.
Why the fuck you keep going?
Yeah, they're gonna say why you keep going over there. But as it pertains to rape, I think because of the issues that we had as a society with misogyny, men not taking it seriously, police officers not following report, and people who do even get charges for it being able to get off, like Brock Turner. Yeah. Oh, you know, I think it creates a very, very odd dynamic in which it's become really hard to tell a woman that she can't operate and she shouldn't go here or she shouldn't do this. I mean, you know, and
should you be able to go wherever the fuck you want to go and not have to deal with this? Yes. But I also should be able to be black in America and not have to deal with the shit that I have to deal with as well. At some point, you just have to accept that in order for myself to be safe, I'm just going to have to take these things into consideration. It's not victim blaming, because obviously you doing whatever should not end with you being assaulted. But if you know that the odds get higher if you do these things, it's in your best interest to not do them. Now, does that mean that it's not fucked up? No, it is fucked up. I should be able to wear what I want. I should be able to, if I get invited somewhere, I should be able to just fucking go and not have to worry about these things. But that's not the reality in which we live in. So for me, I don't think it's victim blame. I think victim blaming is more like, you know, well, bitch, you shouldn't have been wearing that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's
it's
victim
a more
blaming.
overt blaming of that individual.
Yeah, but
rather than
be
passively
cautious.
Recognizing that, you know, there are some different things that you can do in the future moving forward.
Yes.
And I don't think it's about an individual. That's just general information for anybody who's about to approach that situation. And,
you have to take
a part of
precautions.
it is we have to live in the world we have and try not to be living in the world we want to have. Yeah. We live in a world in which the powerful, rich, wealthy men will assault you. Yep. And I think you have to act accordingly. I think we can hope to be in a world in which men are a little bit more respectful and would not do that. But if you if you have that world when you don't, you just jeopardize a lot of situations.
Shit, y'all president talked about grabbing women by the vagina because you rich and they just gonna let you do it, and y'all still elected him.
He didn't say
in
vagina.
Office. I know he didn't say vagina, but
why don't you say what he said?
Because I don't say that word.
Why not? You
Because
say
I don't like
all the other ones.
I know. I will say anything else. Dick is a new thing. Dick. I used to say penis.
You've been saying that lately.
That's a recent thing. I will never be okay with the other word. I don't.
You need to come up with a different word for it.
Why not vagina? Vagina's fine.
That's what
it is.
That's anatomical.
But that's what it is.
That's too precise.
It's a vagina.
And why you ain't saying penis?
I was saying penis. I just got comfortable saying dick because I was saying vagina and penis, and everybody was laughing at me.
We're gonna find you a new word.
I don't know what's wrong with vagina. That's what it is. But He made that statement and still was able to be elected president of the United States of America. So what chance do you think you have against a Nelly or a Mystical or any of these other? Because Mystical just went down on a second time for rape. He's just out here just not giving a fuck. But you just have to be cognizant. So for me, like I said, yes, I should be able to wear as short a skirt as I want. I should be able to wear. Niggas walk around without shirts on. I'm not saying I want to walk around without my shirt on, but I'm saying like you should be able to wear what you want. In an ideal world, yes. But that's not the world that we live in. And so as a woman, you have to take certain precautions and be careful and know that, especially men in power, powerful men, sometimes they extend that to people and not just things. And so if you have somebody on your hand that extends it out to people, you're just something to be owned. You're just something to be conquered. You're something that he wants at that moment, so he gonna get it. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where that is able to happen. So like I said, I don't give a fuck how big of a fan I am of yours. I'm not coming back to your hotel room with you because you don't even know me. Like, that's like when niggas on the street be like, oh, you got a boyfriend? You can't have no friends? Because you came over here because you want to be my motherfucking friend. Like, nigga, please. Like, we both know why you walked over here. And it wasn't because I look like a cool-ass person from a distance. Same thing with them. They're not inviting you back to that. They want pretty faces. They're not inviting you because you look like a cool person or you seem like a cool person. They're inviting you based off the fact that they find you attractive. And that attraction might go in a direction that you don't want it to go. So for me, I'm gonna decline to be like, nah, I'm good.
They want some of that yin yang.
But you're determined to make that a thing.
Is that
no?
That ain't gonna work for you. Okay,
yin yang is a thing.
We'll come with.
It's like yin yang.
Oh, you just messed it up. Oh, you messed it up. Okay,
well,
we gotta find something else.
But yeah, you have to just know that. And again, this is not an excuse. This is not to say men can't control themselves. But the fact of the matter is, this is the world that we live in. And regardless of whether or not it's right or wrong, sometimes you just have to play ball just so that you can, especially when it comes to protecting yourself, like trying to make a point by putting yourself in a dangerous situation and saying, I should be able to do this if I want to, is fucking crazy. Is it really worth you getting attacked? Like, don't make a point on this. This is not the situation to try to make a point on, because you're gonna find yourself hemmed up somewhere. Like, you just have to live in the world that we live in. And the world that we live in say, don't go to hotel rooms or tour buses with niggas that have egos.
You gotta protect your claptrap.
No.
Okay, that
the
don't work.
clap is a venereal disease, and as soon as you said claptrap, that's what I thought of.
I'm just saying.
That's terrible.
If you have that, right?
No.
Okay. Wrong.
No, you cannot use claptrap
use
to talk generically about all women's parts. That's very specific women.
That's like saying HIV container.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I wish I could remember. I saw somewhere. It was on Facebook. Somebody that like fake religious, that's always posting religious shit, posted this thing with like HIV, but the acronym was like something religious, and I was just like, girl, don't use that. No, when people hear HIV, they're not thinking heavenly whatever the fuck. They're thinking you got the package. Don't go around with that. Don't stop doing that. No, that can't be your acronym. Don't use HIV. That's terrible. Some things you can't try to reuse, and HIV is one of those things. Don't use that acronym.
Don't do it,
because it's known.
But there's a video of Nelly on stage. It supposedly happened this same night, and just put in Nelly video, it'll pop up.
Yeah, at this point, sure.
It's him on stage with what looks like a 12-year-old girl.
Wow.
Singing one of his little sexy I'ma seduce you songs and twirling her hair. It is really creepy. That looked like a child. If she is older than 18, it's very surprising. I have to show it to you before you leave, but it's ridiculous. It was hard to watch.
Yeah. It
just made Nelly look like a pedophile, but if she's over 18, it definitely made him the creep of the month, at least.
Women, just be careful out here, man. Like I said, you shouldn't have to, but the fact of the matter is you do. And just be cognizant when you're accepting offers from people, and it don't even have to be rappers, because there's regular niggas out here that'll hem you up somewhere. just be aware of your surroundings. Be careful. Pay attention. Don't accept drink. When I went to college, my mom was like, if you didn't buy the drink, don't you drink it. And if you put it down and your eyes went on it, don't drink it. Like, she beat that into me. So now I don't accept drinks. And I've had drinks sent to me. Even if the bartender bring it, I'm still just like, no, I'm good. Because my mom like has me thinking that everybody gonna roofie me. But I would rather that than to me just be like, bring on the drinks, guys.
Well, they can roofie your sweet tea too, though.
They can.
Like,
I don't accept no drinks. No drinks, period.
I'm just saying, you on a date and you drink on the table, don't leave that drink.
Yeah, no,
Or come back and knock it over by accident so they bring you another one.
Yeah. I don't. If I like on a date, if I go to the bathroom and come back, I'm not gonna touch whatever. Because hopefully by the time I go to the bathroom, we're at the end of the meal anyway. I'm not gonna touch it again because I was gone. I don't know what the fuck you did because I don't know you yet. I'm not trusting. I just everybody is a potential rapist. I don't know. So I'm gonna be careful. I'm not gonna treat you badly, but I am gonna treat you cautiously until you earn trust. It's not just given. That's an earned thing.
Understood.
So I am not finna just assume that you ain't gonna slip something in my drink. Because most niggas that slip things in drinks don't look like niggas that would slip things in drinks. So I'm not taking that chance. So yeah, and of course, again, I should be able to accept a drink from somebody that was nice and wanted to. But in the world that we live in, I know people roofie shit. And with roofies, you don't even remember shit the next day. No, thank you. Be careful out here, ladies. Just be careful. And Nelly, if you did that shit, fuck you. And I hope that you get convicted, which in America, who knows what will happen. But just be careful, man. Gotta be careful out here, these motherfuckers.
Let's talk about guns. So,
must we?
Yes. The Las Vegas shooting. I just want to follow up on some concepts about it, and since some people listening will be able to give some input about that.
The only thing that I have to say, this is going to be mostly your conversation. The only thing that I have to say is that if for anybody thinking that this is going to be the incident that's going to get like stricter gun laws, if you are hoping for that, you can let that shit go. It's not going to happen.
Well, they're trying to regulate items because fully automatic rifles are outlawed already. They're banned. The difference, fully automatic weapons, you can hold the trigger and bullets keep coming out until that clip is gone. Semi-automatic weapons, you pull the trigger, you have to keep pulling the trigger. There are items like bump stocks, which is the particular gun accessory that keeps popping up as it pertains to what that guy had, that simulates a fully automatic weapon. It's basically something you put on the gun and it keeps shooting and it repress itself to make. So what they're trying to do is look at weapons or accessories that can change them to fully automatic. The issue is that I just don't understand the NRA's infatuation with making sure everybody can have guns. Because
guns are a $1 billion industry.
I guess that means that my problem is people blindly buying the outside context and not realizing that they are really sheep.
They're in
this game of buying.
It's a business.
It's
100% a business. But if you feed into people, don't let them take your right away, you're gonna get a lot more people that's they're not gonna take my rights. I demand to be able to have my gun. You're gonna get a lot more people purchasing guns behind that than any other kind of sales pitch that you can put out. It's a sales pitch. Let me throw out
some dialogue that I've heard, and maybe I can get some input from it from some people that's listening. But one part of it is access to guns won't change anything. Now, what I was thinking about is if every home, because we don't believe that the access to guns make a difference, if every home, instead of having a fire hydrant or fire extinguisher, had a gun in it, and every car you bought came with a gun, and every restaurant you can go out to eat had a gun area, where everybody had access to guns, do we really not believe that there would be more deaths by gun?
Well, so is the argument that it's not the access to guns, it's the people that use them. So okay, so with that, or because people would illegally get them, is that part of this conversation?
Well, a small part of the conversation is that you can't limit the people who follow the rules, because the people who don't follow the rules won't follow them, and they will get whatever they can have access to.
Well, guess what? So if you want to make that argument, then we should just drugs shouldn't be illegal. You should be able to go get your coke and your heroin. Why not? Because limited access doesn't make a difference. If everybody is allowed to have it, the situation would be better somehow.
I feel like in the scenario I gave, there's a lot of people who would use those weapons who normally wouldn't have access to them, who would use them in moments of passion where they were angry and they had a means to take care of the reason that they were angry. I feel like from that, I believe access makes a difference.
It does.
To the next part of, if there were stronger background checks, it wouldn't have changed this man from doing what he did. He amassed 33 semi-automatic weapons in the course of a year.
Yep.
You mean to tell me if we didn't have a way of measuring and monitoring who gets guns, because there's a loophole where you can buy guns from gun shows and nobody knows that you're buying a gun. So you mean to tell me if there wasn't a system that showed that this man bought 3 semi-automatics in January, 3 in February, 2 in March, if they were on some kind of list, people wouldn't be able to follow up with what he might be doing? Because to amass 33 guns in that period of time, what else could you be doing it for? I mean, if you were a periodic collector of these weapons, that's different. But over a year, a man who has shown relatively no interest in guns and may have had a handgun, according to his brother, all of a sudden amassed 33.
Yeah.
You don't think if we had record of that, we would be able to dictate a pattern that might help us find some people who are thinking of doing some stuff like this?
Because the thing is, no matter what we do, obviously it's not going to stop all of it. But I don't understand why people don't understand that we should do as much as we can. To say that, well, it will still happen in some aspect doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you do everything that you can to lower the number of people or lower the number of potentials? That don't make no sense. To just say, well, it'll happen anyway, so let's just not give a fuck. That doesn't make any sense.
The NRA is Casa Soze out here. Y'all, you seen Usual Suspects?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say anymore if you hadn't seen it, but it wouldn't be a spoiler alert because the movie is super old.
Yeah,
and
I'll be giving if it's an old movie, I'm gonna say whatever it is.
I don't even want to spoil it because I had seen a lot of movies that I should have seen, and they get spoiled all the time.
You need to get on top of it.
I don't. When I get into a relationship with someone, my plan is to start watching the IMDb top 300.
Okay, I wonder how many of them.
But it has to be like a serious relationship, which I don't know when that's gonna be. So.
But what if you don't want to see, some of them are gonna be genres of movies that you don't want to see?
Well, the whole world have dictated that they go in the top 300 of hundreds of thousands of movies that's been made, so they're at least worth a shout.
I guess.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna watch any horror movies in it.
What about chick flicks?
I'll watch chick flicks.
Okay.
Every time me and my brother got whoopings, my mama would call us in there and be like, hey, come watch TV with me. And it was Lifetime. Designing Women, Columbo, whatever random We Hate Men version of a movie is on.
That's funny.
That's what we did. So chick flicks are fine.
Okay.
Horror movies, different situation.
I doubt that a ton of horror movies will make it on the top.
Because they suck.
Well, they're
have
only
good
meant
stories.
to scare.
I'm pretty sure a Saw or 2 is on there.
Yeah, I guess. And they're meant to scare you. So, I don't think that they're so much worried about plot as they are, fear factor.
Anyway, that was just a little quick dialogue about guns. Because I'm just not understanding the rationale from some of these people about it.
Well,
if the really truth of it is that we just can't do nothing, then we might as well give all the toddlers grenades. Because
God damn, you said grenade.
I don't know, man, because it's crazy.
Just don't pull the
that
pin
people
out.
say it has nothing to do with the tool.
Yeah,
but
it does.
only the person that wields it. But you wouldn't let a toddler hang around a knife.
Well, but okay,
on a dining room table.
Look at the fact that you have to get to an airport 2.5 hours early. Like, at how much they crack down on shit after 9/11. Like most other things in this country, when something happens, they immediately try to rectify it by some kind of way, no matter how inconvenient it may be. That's what I'm saying. The reason why guns are different is because it's a business and they make money off of it. And that's why I don't have any kind of hope that it's going to change drastically because of that. Because with everything else, they will make the necessary changes. Like all of this shit with TSA, all of these things that they change, you can't take this on the plane, you can't take that on the plane, you can't do this, you can't do. They changed all of that in reaction to those people being able to get on the plane and hijack it and do the shit they did on 9/11. We done had numerous mass shootings. Numerous. Vegas was not the first one, probably not going to be the last. Numerous mass shootings. And we still are having this same fucking conversation that we have every time we have a mass shooting. And the difference here is that it is a business that they make money off of. And they're just not willing to make the changes necessary because it would impact the business.
Well, this and my dialogue is not for the NRA lobbyist. It's for the person who is eating the garbage that the NRA is feeding them in terms of Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. But that's why the business is thriving, because people eat it up. If people would stop with the whole fucking Second Amendment rights and you're not going to take my gun, the NRA would not be able to do this. But because they were able to find something, again, that people feel so strongly about, they've made it into $1 billion business. And it ain't going to go nowhere. That's why I said, at this point, I don't have hope that the gun laws are going to change drastically as much as they need to change, because we done had too many of these situations that didn't happen. You had the nightclub in Florida, you had the Batman movie. Like, I can go on and on with the number of mass shootings that we have had in this country in recent years. You don't even have to go back that fucking far. And they don't do anything every time it happens. People go about to say, it ain't the tool, it's the people. And you can't punish the good people because of the bad. And we go do the same shit every time a mass shooting happens. They're not going to do
The tool
anything.
is only as limited as the wielder. Because, I mean, like I said, a toddler with a butcher knife, that butcher knife is dangerous because the person don't know how to use it. It works for guns as well.
Yep.
And we're sitting out here trying to allow everybody to have guns. I don't think a blanket of mental health issues should remove people from being able to get guns, because there's a lot of people who have very well medicated and, what word am I trying to say?
Maintained
is probably better than what I was going to figure out. Mental illnesses.
Yeah.
And so I don't think a blanket over mental health should be an issue.
No.
But I just think that somebody should know who got guns, how many, why, and how quickly they're building them up.
Shit. Trump was ready to make a Muslim database, have people with numbers and shit. But and people were with that, but like the gun thing is just like, no, we shouldn't monitor that. Like, people are stupid. I don't know. Did you watch Glee?
No.
I didn't watch Glee either. But even with me not having watched Glee, because Glee was so huge, I do remember like the characters that were in the spotlight a lot. One of them being Mark Salling or Salling. I don't know. Is it Salling?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
He played Noah Puckerman. Again, I ain't watched the shit, but I remember he was in like advertisements. He was on the cover of shit when the show blew up and all of this shit. He has pled guilty to child porn charges. He had more than 50,000 images and videos of child porn and erotica on his laptop. Some of the victims were as young as 3 to 5 years old. He downloaded these images and tried to mask his IP address with some kind of software. Obviously, the shit didn't work. So to avoid being locked up for 20 years, he took a plea deal. He'll serve 4 to 7 in jail. He will have to register as a sex offender, and he will have to pay $50,000 to each victim who submits a formal restitution request. Apparently his internet use will be monitored and controlled for 20 years. I don't know how the fuck they plan to do that if he goes to like a library or something, but what ifs? He stated he's pleading guilty because he's guilty. So he did this shit. It ain't some kind of conspiracy. He didn't try to say my little brother was using my computer. It wasn't me. Like, he said he did the shit, which is terrible. And just goes to show you. He about the same age as if he ain't in his 30s, I would be surprised.
His booty hole ain't gonna make it.
Oh no, they don't play that shit in prison and jail. Child abusers get fucked up and fucked. Mm-hmm. So that just go to show you, like, that again, back to the Nelly thing. These are celebrities, but they are also regular people, and they do fucked up shit. Like, them being celebrities does not exempt them from the fucked upness.
They are flawed.
They are very flawed. And so, because you know, we are flawed. He out here taking pictures and getting endorsements and shit. Meanwhile, he going home watching kitty porn on his fucking laptop. Like, you just never know.
I'm sure we all do stuff.
Not kitty porn.
Oh yeah, fuck no, not kitty porn. I can't even jump on that bandwagon. But when you said we all flawed, I'm sure some people come home and chew their toenails with their teeth. You heard somebody who do that? I've heard of people who do that.
That's disgusting.
It's nasty.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Like, it's other ways to show the world that you flexible. Well, you don't show the world, you just do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, sometimes I feel like people think that celebrities are not flawed just because of their celebrity status. Like, just like you go home and do some crazy shit that you don't want nobody to know about, they do too. Like, his just happened to be child porn. But, like, these celebrities are people. There are people who have a talent that they were able to monetize and make use of. They still people. And they are flawed, and they do fucked up shit like rape people and have child porn on their computers. So just be mindful of that when you out here, again, meeting these celebrities and stuff. And have I met a celebrity? I'm not going to say that I wouldn't. Who would I fangirl off of? Idris Elba. If I met Idris Elba, I would be like, oh my God, it's Idris Elba. But at the end of the day, I also know that I don't know what the fuck this nigga doing at home. This nigga was attached to K. Michelle. Do you know how disappointed I was that he was attached to K. Michelle? You know how ratchet she is? Do you know how much my opinion of him lowered just from his association with this heifer? Like, I was like, really, Idris? K. Michelle, nigga, you can have anybody, and K. Michelle is who. Well, he and he ain't say shit about it. He kept it on the hush. K. Michelle is one of those people who you would have sex with, but you ain't gonna let nobody know you had sex with her, cause she was the one who started running her mouth about it. That nigga didn't say shit. He still didn't. I don't even think he addressed it after she like told the world. He just act like shit didn't happen.
I had a dream
about K. Michelle.
No. Why would I have a dream about K. Michelle?
I don't know. Why would Idris Elba date or fuck K. Michelle?
Well, I had a dream about Childish Gambino. So
okay,
I was playing his music all night.
Oh.
And I don't know if y'all know much about my dreams, but like I have a whole bunch of like, I dream a lot.
He's
I have
weird.
vivid dreams.
He has weird ass dreams.
And not only that, but I have dreams, recurring dreams that like are connected. Every one of them are connected. And this one just took place in my old childhood with a new house. The house I grew up in that dream is new now. It was old. It burned down. My granddaddy rebuilt it, and now it's like new. And this is the first time I've dreamt of it, and it was this new. Mm-hmm. But and the inside is the exact same as it was before it burnt down. But Childish Gambino flew in town and came to my house for some reason, and we were just listening to his music the whole time. And I just remember being a fan in my dream.
It wasn't even out when you were a kid. He was a kid when you were a kid. That's funny.
I was regular me at this point.
Oh, okay.
Like I was regular me because my house just new now. Like okay. I'm not a kid in the dream, just my childhood neighborhood. But when you said who would you fan out over, I was doing that in my dream for Donald Glover.
That's so funny.
But
yeah, I fuck him and see what's really messed up, or not messed up, I mean, it is what it is, but like when you're a celebrity who gets nicked on some child porn shit, it ain't, because a lot of them, when they go in, they just don't tell people they charge, or they'll make up something else, because everybody knows what it is. Like, you're at the bottom of the food chain when you go into prison if you're a child molester, or you anything related to children. But if you're a celebrity, it's kind of hard for you to do that shit. They know why you there, because it was like televised. So I don't know. He gonna be in protective custody probably.
He gonna meet Booty Warrior.
They might put him in protective custody since he's a celebrity. They
You
do
think
that.
the
For
police officers ain't complicit in letting stuff happen to them people?
Oh no, I'm sure they are. And 50,000. You know how long he had to have been collecting these photographs and videos? 50,000 is a lot. That's a lot for somebody who's an actor. And like, well, I don't know if what he been doing since Glee. So maybe not. Maybe he do got a lot of time on his hands where he just like that. 50,000 just sound like a lot. Like right now, I don't think I got 50,000 photos and shit on my computer, and I do YouTube videos, and I would be surprised if I had 50,000 photos.
Well, I hope it was just limited to video. I hope he didn't have any interaction with any children.
Hopefully it was just.
Hopefully that's the case.
Well,
and you know, if for somehow y'all know of this case and y'all know any of these kids that might be on this stuff, get that kid them $50,000.
Yep. He gotta pay.
Figure it out.
But
get that kid that money. You gotta pay.
Yep.
For your disgustingness.
Yep. But it's only the ones that come forward. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I hope a lot of them come forward.
Yeah, break them.
He got it.
Leave him broke.
He got it. He was one of the like more popular characters on the show, which is why, again, without me even watching the show, I knew who he was. So when I saw the headline, I was like, damn, that Glee nigga out here watching little kids and shit. The fuck?
No bueno.
No, not at all.
Dove.
I don't know why I thought you said Doug, and then I immediately thought of Doug. Doug funny.
I remember that. That was my show.
Doug.
It was the most normal show ever. Like, didn't nothing happen in his life outside of what happened to regular folks.
Went to school. Didn't have his homework sometime. He had a bully. It was just regular life.
Best friend that was way smarter and had more access to things than him.
He had a crush. Patty Mayonnaise. Yeah.
It's a ridiculous name.
Yeah. If your last name is Mayonnaise, don't name your child. I don't know why your last name would be Mayonnaise, but don't name your child Patty. I don't know what a good name would be to go with that, but not Patty. Patty Mayonnaise. Whatever.
No name.
But you didn't say Doug. You said Dove.
For Susan Mayonnaise would be stupid. Like, any name behind that is like, you can't even use a regular name. I'd rather you use like some kind of
Patty.
Yeah, Patty would be. It just don't work better. Yeah. But I said Dove.
You did say Dove.
Like the bird.
Yes.
But not the bird. The
lotion,
cleaning and beauty products.
Yes, beauty products, soap.
So
shampoo.
If y'all don't know what's going on with Dove, you can just put Dove commercial into Google, and what's going to pop up is a commercial with this black woman in a brown shirt taking off her shirt, and as she takes it off, it's a white woman underneath. It's very important to add the context that after that white woman shows up, she takes her shirt off, and it's an Asian woman underneath. When you see the pictures on Facebook, when you see the gifs of it, you're going to see just the black woman and the white woman.
Yes. That's
the only context you get, and a lot of dialogue is coming from it. I was in a discussion earlier today that indicated that her being the Asian woman makes, like, turning into another person of color makes a difference. Well, let me tell you the issues surrounding this whole situation. One, there have always been issues in the beauty industry as it pertains to black skin, black hair, and generally black hair. The reason that Rihanna has created Fendi is because no white beauty company has thought that it was important enough to offer all of these different shades to black women.
They have 3 shades of brown
makeup.
usually. You gonna have light skin, you gonna have brown, and you gonna have semi-dark. You never gonna have like dark. Anybody that's got like dark skin is fucked. Like, very rarely are they able to find makeup.
No company could.
But they have like 15 different shades of white. Well, like, I'm not even exaggerating. 15 shades of white.
Well, no company could conceptualize the idea that we should cater to all of these different brown shades.
Yep.
Fendi did that.
Yep.
This is not new. And this is just recent stuff.
Yeah.
Shea Moisture couldn't conceptualize that women with deeper curl patterns and thicker hair was somebody that felt so connected to that product that they didn't even consider that group in the last commercial that they had.
Yep.
And then you talk about Dove right now, and they might not have done that with any malicious intent, but they're operating off of that colorblind mentality. You know, when people say, I'm colorblind, it usually means I don't recognize your brown skin as brown or a problem, and I don't recognize your culture as something that's different than mine because we're American. We bleed red.
Punch people in the face. Like, that does not convince me that you're this good person. Because I take it exactly like what you said. You telling me that you're colorblind, you're leaving. I am brown. I am black. I am a black woman. That is a large part of who I am. So you saying that you're colorblind is you leaving off a very huge part of who I am.
And it's something that caters to your own sense of discomfort with the existence of brown people, because you rather say, I don't see you as different than me.
Yep.
I see me different than you.
Yeah.
You know, so you
the world
saying
sees me different.
You
than
saying
you.
that you're the same, we're all the same. It's just to make you comfortable, because I'm telling you that I am brown. My culture is different. But what they're doing is they're appeasing the diversity in these commercials by adding a brown person, but not taking into consideration the culture of that person added.
Yep.
And if they had a black person in that room that would have been able to challenge that commercial, or if they had the decency with a room full of white people to even consult with somebody brown before they put that commercial out, they would know that they should not have put that black person first and that white person second. It might have even been better if the white person was first and then the black person was second.
Yeah.
Because a large dialogue for a lot of people is that they're channeling the historical context of those ads where it looked like you can wash off black skin and turn it white.
Yeah.
And this is a soap. So it looks exactly like that to people. And I mean, a lot of people are saying, I don't see the ad. I don't see the controversy. It's just more the same. To me, it don't really represent the dirty, the message, they didn't mean anything by it. Yeah. But it just further continues to represent how little they put into thinking about culture and thinking about brown people, and not just them for being brown, but for their cultural existence, our cultural existence, and why we exist. They're not thinking about it. It's just more the same. They don't put any thought into or intentionality into how they're going to integrate black people into the situation. They just integrate somebody with brown skin into the situation.
I showed you that ad, Khloe Kardashian for good. First of all, the company being named Good American. I don't want to wear nothing called Good American, because in the history of my people tells me Good American just sound like some white shit. But Khloe Kardashian has an ad where she is posing with this black model, and that's fine. But one of the pictures has the black model kneeling and leaning against Khloe Kardashian.
It's not like an NFL kneel
No.
either. It's kind of like
slave submission, a submission kind of kneel. Like, you have to see the ad. It's like, yes, Khloe Kardashian, I guess, is a star or whatever, but she still would have been a star if she had been the one kneeling. It just looked horrible. Like, it looks bad. And nobody thought about it. There's no intention. Like, nobody thought about that.
It's possible that it's harmless. It's possible that the people doing it have no problem with it. It's possible that the black person doing it don't have any problem with it. But it just continues to channel that historically negatively connotated context that black people have always existed in.
There are pictures that exist just like that of a white woman sitting in a chair with her slave down, like that is a picture that I'm sure that I could find that's very closely resembling that image. And that's what the problem is, and nobody thinks about that. As soon as I saw that, that's what my mind went to, was like, shit, why would who okayed this shit? This is terrible.
That imagery is very powerful.
Yeah.
And the issue is that America is still yet to sit around and have a dialogue about what that meant, what that means, and how we move forward. And that's why the black community still tends to hold on so deeply to the issues when they present themselves, because nobody has come out and said, oh, we understand. This is how we're going to integrate and change and move forward. It needs to start with putting people in the rooms to make better decisions than this.
Because if I had been there, I'd have been like, no, don't do that. Let me show you what this reminds me of. Before I leave here, I guarantee you, because I've seen a picture like that where there's a white woman with the slave bent down, just like their picture. Because we were like dogs in that time period.
Yeah.
And that's what that photo reminds me of. It looks terrible. It's the worst ad I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's horrible. So, you know what? I didn't have this story to talk about, but I wanted to talk about it. Jeremy Lin.
I don't know who that is.
Jeremy Lin is a Asian guy that was on the Rockets. They were playing against the Lakers.
Did he have dreads?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I heard about this.
Was amazing though. Like, this just a little.
Ain't he Asian?
I just said that.
Oh.
I was like, this is a little Asian dude who was on the Rockets roster. I don't know where he came from, what university he came from, but he's in the NBA. Point guard went out. He came in for his first time and dropped 40 on the Lakers. Like, nobody knew. I think he's been riddled with injuries since then. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's playing on like the Brooklyn Nets, and he got dreads. And he's been open about talking about it. But I guess what I wanted to ask is where the line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation comes in. Because Kenyon Martin, so he's been taking a lot of criticism. Mm-hmm. Kenyon Martin, which used to play in the NBA, put out a post talking about how preposterous it is. But Kenyon Martin got Asian, I don't know what it is, Chinese, Japanese, I'm not going to distinguish. I want to say some Asian writing across his arm. And Jeremy Lin's rebuttal was, you were one of my inspirations growing up, and it was good to see you with parts of my culture on you, and so that cultural exchange, allows us the opportunity to share one another's culture.
Yeah.
Because we're not the vultures, they not the vultures, black people aren't the vultures that usually cultural appropriation represents when you talk about white people taking ownership of these things, producing them in mass, and redistributing them out to make money from.
Yeah. So I don't know what he said, but does he know the history behind
I don't know
the dreadlocks and that whole culture?
I don't know.
Because for me that makes a difference. And he not making money off of it. He chose to do this as he's playing basketball. So he's not out here pretending to be a roster or like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I would feel like that was an instance of cultural appropriation.
And what I've been doing is I've been talking about dreadlocks being a part of other cultures like the Viking culture. Mm-hmm. But, I read a comment that was like, dreadlocks, don't call what Vikings had dreadlocks, call it people who didn't take care of their hair and what happened when you don't take care of it.
Oh yeah, because dreadlocks are conscious.
Yeah, they are very intentional.
Yeah, it's an intentional
as a cultural, a cultural
that's true.
Situation.
Yeah,
I mean, even before Rastafarian, it was still a part of African tradition to do hair in that way.
Yeah.
Rastafarian just are ones who grasp onto their hair in that way.
That's true.
So like Red saying, a really, really big part of cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation is if you know the history and you understand the context by which that thing was brought about, and
you're not doing it for profit either. Like, he has that part. Like, he's not, I would not imagine that he's profiting from his hair being that way. He's profiting from him being able to play basketball. So for me, the second part of that would be whether or not he knows the history and the culture of dreadlocks and what that means and why people do, Now, the unfortunate thing is these are not questions that get asked of black people that decide to dread. Because there are a lot of black people who just dread their hair because they like what it looked like.
And that's the next question I was going to ask. Considering that we're talking about non-majority cultures, are white people barred from that even if they have that knowledge because they are connected to a history in which they've taken advantage of those things, or do they have access to it?
I feel like, because I've seen white people with dreads. It looks stupid to me. It don't look the same, but I've seen white people with dreads. For me, if they're not trying to profit off of it, if they understand the culture and they just want to be, appreciate that, and they're not profiting from it, they're not out here trying to sell, incense. I don't know. That's so, I don't know. If they understand the culture, they're not trying to profit off of it. They just appreciate it. I don't have a problem with white people with dreads, but I'm also not a part of that culture, so I feel like I can't speak for like Rastafarians, and I'm not a part of that culture. So me being black and on the outside of it, for me, it doesn't offend me when I see it. It look weird as fuck. Long as they not out here trying to like profit off of it and do all of these things, and they understand the history behind it, I don't have a problem with it. But again, just because I don't mean that people in that culture wouldn't have a problem. And I do think you have to be sensitive of the culture. And like I said, if I had dreads, I honestly wouldn't know the history behind it. Like, it would have been a hairstyle choice. My brother has dreads, and I can assure you, he has not gone into Rastafarian culture, and he ain't did none of that shit. He just decided he wanted to dread his hair, and he did. There's a lot of black people that do that.
There's a part two of my question was, does that mean that black people have unrestricted access without doing the due diligence that we expect other cultures to do?
Unfortunately, we give a lot more allowances for it. Because like I said, I'm not a part of that culture, and it would be very easy for me to dread my hair and no questions would be asked. Nobody would be like, oh, you culture vulture, you not Rastafarian. Like, nobody would do that. Nobody blinks twice when they see just a black person with dreads. They don't. I don't. Like, it's a hairstyle for a lot of people, and they're not like deep in the culture. So that's one of those situations where I think we kind of get a pass and we don't really get called out on that. Because most of the people that I know with dreads are not like Rastafarian and are not following any of the tenets of it. It was a hairstyle choice. They decided that they wanted to just grow dreads. So they did. And they don't know shit about it. So that happens. What else did I have? Oh, well, I'm just going to briefly talk about Tyrese needs to just sit the fuck down. He is all on the Rock's nutsack about this. So the Rock was in the last Fast and the Furious. I dropped off of that franchise probably about the third movie, and they like 8 deep in. So the Rock was in the last installment, and he has gotten what I am assuming is some kind of a spinoff from that series. He got an offer to do it. He agreed to do it. Him, Jason Statham is a part of it, and some other people.
Not Tyrese, clearly. But
not Tyrese. Tyrese has been on this media frenzy talking about how, the Fast and the Furious is a brotherhood, and The Rock should have turned it down, and he ain't answering none of his calls, so that's why he doing on. He ain't answering none of your calls because you sound fucking crazy. Y'all made movies together, and if you made friendships from that, cool, but you cannot say everybody that ever makes one of these movies, you are not allowed to do anything else with this franchise unless all of us are like, no, motherfucker, I'm gonna make my money, and you gonna be mad. Like, are you crazy? And he look like he is so pressed about this. Like, he is so upset, and it's just like, dude, like, stop. You look crazy right now.
If The Rock is anything like me, the only thing he want to hear from Tyrese is whatever somebody wrote down for him to say.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to hear what you read from a script. Don't freestyle. You say horrible things all the time.
He's stupid.
First off,
Tyrese is one of those people, and I think we've talked about this before, how sometimes you get a peek into these celebrity lives and you think like, fuck, you're an idiot in real. Tyrese, when I started following him on Twitter, that is when I learned that he is a stupid motherfucker. And I don't use stupid lightly, but he is. Like, unintelligent, like, he is stupid. So yeah, after that, I don't want to hear nothing that Tyrese Gibson has to say. Tyrese, the name brand, the actor, the singer, sure. Tyrese Gibson?
Not even a singer no more.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah,
It's
pretty
over.
much. I like the old stuff. I listen to Sweet Lady and stuff.
My next point is I feel like The Rock is such an amazing person.
Yeah.
Don't know, but I think he's
He
so
seemed like
fantastic.
it. Yeah.
I feel like Tyrese is acting like this was a breakup. I feel like Tyrese is like,
Is.
hey, I just calling to check on you. Ain't seen you since the last movie. Hey, I heard you moving on, but I mean, I ain't heard nothing about it. I mean, I was just calling check with me. Okay, so I see how you is. You ain't gonna call me back. You gonna get a new movie role, and you just gonna move on like that. You just ain't gonna tell nobody. I'm going to the media. I'm going to them because I can't take this, and they need to know who you really is. Tyrese is just
That
the crazy
is exactly what
He's
he
just
has
the
been.
crazy ex
Yeah,
boyfriend, girlfriend,
100%. That is what he sounds like on social
Bro
media
friend.
right now.
bro
Like,
friend.
yeah, he's bro friend.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, calm down. It's a brotherhood, and no. I signed on to do this motherfucking move, and y'all niggas was cool. I enjoyed the time on set, and if the rest of them want to go get some dinner and shit, sure. Your crazy ass, no, you fucked that up. But if the rest of the cast want to go get dinner sometime, yes. But outside of that, I'm finna make these coins. So they offered me this role. It's me. It's Jason Statham. It's gonna make a lot of money. I'm finna make this money, and you gonna be mad. Like, this has been weeks of this, that he's been doing this. Like, ever since he found out about it, he been on this media blitz, just talking shit, talking about how The Rock won't hit his phone. That's cause you crazy. Nigga, I wouldn't hit your phone. I don't want to talk to you. You're obviously unstable. I'm not finna talk to you either. You sound crazy right now.
Tyrese is about to get the Brahma Bull to the forehead. He about to get rock bottomed. He about to get the people's elbow. This jabroni about to smell what Dwayne is cooking. That's what's about to happen to him, because he messing with the wrong one or the right one. He just might be so friendly. What The Rock would do is come out on Instagram and be like, my friend Tyrese, I ain't heard from him in a while, and I heard him, talking about me, and I just want to reach out to him. What's going on, Tyrese?
Because he's so nice.
Exactly.
He's just a nice guy. Or he seems like
And
it
it's gonna
anyway.
make Tyrese look even worse.
Yeah. I don't understand why he's so upset. To me, it's just like, dude, like, we made a movie together. Like, calm down. Like, that would be like Kevin Hart just doing the same. Anybody that's ever been in a movie with The Rock, it would be like them being like, you can't make a movie like this ever again, because our movie was special and our movie is the greatest and it's our movie. So you, like, are you smoking crack right now? Like, we were co-stars. Like, that was it. I don't know where you got all this brotherhood stuff. I didn't sign on for that. Like,
The only distinct brotherhood that exists is the clan. All right. And then you got little branches of that brotherhood, like the Aryan Nation and
I could
neo-Nazis
I could
and the
see-
skinheads.
maybe Tyrese and Vin Diesel, because of Paul Walker. They were in a lot of the movies together, and Paul Walker died. They shared that trauma. I could see that. The Rock, as far as I know, was in the last one. He was in one fucking movie.
He was in
with
more
y'all.
than one?
Was he?
He was in one, where he was after Paul Walker. And then the next one, he was in the movie with Paul Walker where they collaborated. And then I think they was going to collaborate on the next one with Paul Walker, but that's the one where he wasn't in because he had died. So I think The Rock was in 3 of them.
I don't want. I can't.
I don't need there's so many.
It's too many.
And
And that's another thing. It's like, you think they just gonna keep making Fast and Furious as Tyrese? At some point, they are gonna have to branch off, or just stop fucking with the series altogether.
That's what people would have been saying about 4.
Yeah.
Because when you get to 8 and 9, like you legitimately start thinking, well, I guess they could just keep going. It ain't nothing but a heist movie.
Yeah.
It ain't even about cars no more. Like, I mean, it got cars in it that people who love muscle type cars will recognize, and people who are car enthusiasts will be like, oh, they got one of those.
It's just too
but at the
many.
end of the day, it's just become a heist movie. They like just stealing stuff.
But like, it ain't even clever. Like, I love the Oceans movie. Oceans 11, 12, and 13. And I own them because it's a heist movie, but like the way they do that shit and then how they break it down at the end and you see like everybody's part in it and like I like that. And they made 3 of those and I was good with them. I was good with those 3 movies. As much as I enjoyed them, I felt like 14 and 15, it would have been too much. Like just 13 was a good number. Let's just stop with those 3 movies. Y'all got 8 of these movies out. Oh, like let them branch off, sir. Like let it go. You just go. Is he still in the does he still do the Transformers movie? Just keep doing that.
No, I don't think so.
They cut him out.
I mean, when Shia LaBeouf stopped being in them, then Tyrese went in no more after Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, they still have Fergie, soon to be ex-husband. He was in them still.
They got other people in them.
Oh,
too. You never know. I
Tyrese,
mean,
just move on. I don't know. Like it's not that deep.
And the compared to Ocean's 13, 11, 12, 13, the heist of Fast and the Furious is like the Hamburglar. Or like the Trix Rabbit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the plot of the movie is not even clever. You made 8 movies that are not even clever. It really is for people to go look at these cars because they're not clever. Like again,
you get to see the Rock and Vin Diesel muscles.
I mean, I guess
for people who like that.
I don't want to look at it 8 times. Like I said, I dropped off. I honestly maybe watched the first 3, and after that, I was just like, y'all still making these fucking movies, and they made 5 more after that. I was over it. Because it was the same thing. They boosting cars. They come on the radar of the police. They trying to evade. Like, okay. All right.
They should change the title of it.
To what? Shit, that's what they doing. They doing this.
The Speedy and Extremely Angry. No, people will never know.
I don't know. I forgot the
know.
name of the movie that The Rock is supposed to be in, but it's supposed to be some kind of branch off of it. But I ain't even here for the branch off. I'm sure there will be anything that Jason Statham is in. I'm usually with because I enjoy him with his action sequences and stuff. But I ain't even gonna check that one out because I'm just over that whole fucking concept. I'm done with Fast and the Furious. But other people still love it and they gonna follow the branch off. And Tyrese just gonna have to be mad. Just be mad. Here you go with this shit. I wish y'all could see the face he making to do this. Y'all need to see this face.
Y'all should.
But yeah, Tyrese just need to be mad.
What else I got on my list?
That was all I had. That was it. That was my last one.
Let's talk about Pence real quick. Mike Pence.
Fuck that guy.
Clearly, we still got the stuff going on with the NFL. They're kneeling to protest social injustice and things of that nature. That dialogue has quickly been skewed over to they are disrespecting the country, the flag, and the servicemen and the national anthem. And it's really crazy to me how you see such an overt shift of what it is actually about to what they have turned it into being about. Mm-hmm. And Republican outlets make it about that new thing. But the solution to the problem is to address what the people are protesting for. Like, that's the issue.
No. The simple thing is to just focus on the flag and the anthem. I don't care why y'all are protesting. You don't do that to the flag. That's what the direction that they're going into.
But it's like, you want that illusion.
Yeah.
You want to feel comfortable. It goes back to that previous dialogue. You just want to feel comfortable by telling somebody what to do to make you not feel comfortable and go protest over there in the corner. Mm-hmm. Play this game for me. And now the NFL is starting to crack down on if you disrespect the flag, you're not going to play. So I feel like Donald Trump been reaching out to these cats and saying, hey, you need to do this. But what Mike Pence did was he went to a Colts game, and because people kneeled, he said because they kneeled, he left the game. And that's really disrespectful. And if he knew he was going to do that, it was nothing but a publicity stunt.
Yeah, because the fuck would you go?
You knew that people were going to kneel. They kneel every single week. Why would you go to a game expecting them not to kneel because you're present? Who are you?
Don't nobody give a fuck about you.
He looked like the character in the movie that's just in the back on the computer that you never even look up. They tell them, "Hey, y'all, act like y'all doing something. Never look at any cameras or important people on the screen." Like, that's Mike Pence. And he thought he was going to walk into an Indianapolis Colts game and the players were going to be like, "Oh, the vice president is here." So they start talking about how much it costs the taxpayer for him to go, which is roughly around $250,000 when you talk about travel.
They don't give a
when
fuck
you talk about the security.
Money. Yeah.
But
you
ridiculous.
Ain't Joe Biden. The fuck out of here, Pence.
You
Nobody
ain't
give a
cool
shit
enough,
about
man.
you. You ain't Uncle Joe.
You ain't cool, man.
Sit out here and act like somebody give a fuck about you.
The white hair.
He just looked like, I don't know. He just looked creepy. I don't know.
He looked like the bad guy in a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like, really bad movie.
Don't nobody give a fuck about him.
But I just brought it up to just continue to drive home that I'm just tired of. I
wish they would just say what they mean.
I asked one of my clients, "What have you heard about black people lately that's been good?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, what have you heard that make you feel good about being black? Nothing is the answer.
Yeah.
Nothing is the answer. If you've heard something that's made you feel good about being black in the context of America anytime recently, please let me know.
I don't know what it is.
Because I don't feel that way. I feel like a liability in America. I feel like an afterthought in America. Mm-hmm. I feel all of that. I happen to be the kind of person that can derive my own self-esteem and joy and happiness from how I look at and perceive life. But everybody that's black ain't got that. Mm-mm. And we work with people that's black that don't have that. Yep. And there is a lot of racially connected experiences that they have that white people ain't gonna know about. They just don't get it.
I just wish they would say what they mean, because it isn't about the flag and it ain't about the national anthem. I wish they would just say, "Shut up and live in the country that we're allowing you to live in." That's it. Because the reason why they're not addressing the reason behind the protest is because they don't care. You know, if you peacefully protest by kneeling, it's a problem. If you protest in the street with picket signs, it's a problem. Like, there is no proper way for a black person in America to protest injustice because they don't care about it. I feel like the reason why they focus on this other shit and not what the reason is and not what we're saying behind the protest is because they don't give a fuck. They just want you to be quiet. Just be quiet. We let you live here. You'll get to stay. You ain't slaves anymore, but you get to live here. Be quiet. Just be quiet.
It reminds me of a fantastic movie that I hadn't seen in a long time, The Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I don't know if y'all know much about The Truman Show, but it was about Jim Carrey, who was living in this TV show since he was born.
Yeah.
Since every single minute of his life, he was born in this environment that was catered to make him fit in and blend in. Mm-hmm. And they did everything they could to keep him from realizing what was going on behind the scenes. And I feel like black people right now are in a entire version of The Truman Show.
And we realized it trying to get out, but they won't let us
out. And they are trying their hardest to continue to contain behind the scenes what they know is going on, but they don't want to admit to us that they know is going on. They want to just keep letting it go on, and this is what we got.
So to avoid having to address it, don't disrespect the flag. Oh, don't disrespect our national anthem. Oh, you shouldn't be out here and protesting in the street. I mean, they just want us to be quiet. That's what I've derived, because no matter what form we have gone in trying to deliver this message, they don't want to hear the message. So they focus on the delivery, and they criticize and critique the delivery instead of the message.
What do you think would happen? Because I've always used this example that in order for us to have peace amongst people, alien invasion gonna have to happen. But lately I've been like, what if the aliens came down and like gave black people powers? Like, or if black people somehow acquire powers that will allow us to amass, you know, a bulk of power and control in the country. How do you think that would turn out?
I don't know. Some niggas be out here wilding out.
I feel like a large portion of black people would have to create like a Justice League to stop the Hoteps from killing all white people.
Yes.
And the Umar Johnsons.
Yeah. And then you just had a roguish niggas that would use it for evil. Like, it would be like... It would be a very sensitive balancing act that would have to happen.
It would seem to still have to be inner turmoil between the African American community.
Because you have some people who would want to just use it to further our culture as a whole, and then you have hotels who want revenge for the shit that's happened in the past. You would have people who just opportunists anyway, and they just take advantage.
It would probably be just like X-Men.
Yeah.
It'll probably be you got one bad side of the black folks, one good side of the black folks, and then everybody else who are not mutants trying to exist.
Yep.
My roommate keeps screaming. I don't know if y'all hear that, but that's him playing the game.
He's very excited.
He's probably playing Fortnite.
He's very excited.
Yeah, that's how he do. That's how we do. I'd be screaming if I was playing or I play the game. Maybe. I don't know. Last thing I want to talk about is Cam Newton. If y'all know anything about Cam Newton recently had a interview in which a woman asked him questions about routes. And he replied, that's funny, you know, a woman or a female asking me about routes. And he got a whole bunch of flack for that. Like, everybody was like, one, female, you know, are we still at that point where you refer to women as females? And then the fact that she mentioned something about football. You know, I mean, clearly she has amassed enough knowledge to be sitting in that room, which means she knows something about football.
I mean, that was my issue with it, was the condescension about how her knowledge is like, well, that's why she here, motherfucker. The female part, I don't get upset about that word. Like, I know that it's using a negative connotation about niggas. These females ain't shit, you know. But when I hear it, I don't know. I was more offended by him assuming, or him having this idea that, oh my God, you're a woman who knows about routes. Like, nigga, I'm in a room where we're asking you questions about football. It would be odd if I didn't know this shit.
Like he expected her to get up and say, so, do you ever eat cakes the shapes of footballs with icing on it to make it look like a football? Oh, cakes. You asking about cakes. That's something I know something about. Hey, let me tell you a little joke about cakes.
Exactly.
But she asked about routes, and he was like, that ain't a woman thing.
Yeah.
That ain't a female thing.
For me, that was more fit. But I mean, I get why women get upset about it. Again, I'm not going to tell somebody else what to or not be offended by, but I don't get, y'all hear me say bitches all the time. I don't get offended by like female. That if I heard that, I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe you use that word. We're women. Like, I just don't get up in arms about that. I was more offended by him assuming that women wouldn't know that, especially a woman in a room where they're asking questions about football. Like, you weren't at a party. You were at a place where everybody in the room should know something about football despite their gender. Because we're talking about what you just did out there on the field. So that was offensive to me. His use of female, I could give a fuck about. Honest, you know, I say bitches, so I don't know that I can really be out here judging.
Well, I mean, I know you understand, but like female, when you say female, it's basically regarding the sexual organ of a creature. Like when you're talking about a flower and you're talking about the female part, like it's just a sexual organ, and a lot of women have taken female to mean not the whole of me, but just a small part. And then when you add the component of how negatively connotated female generally is, and when men talk about it, then you can see how that word over time has become one in which it's just, I don't like to be called that, you know, as a woman. But you know, female therapist, I use that all the time, like as a modifier or a descriptor of, you know, that other word, then that's okay. Yeah. But just females just
relegating her to just being a female. Again, I get why women get upset. I just don't.
But my thing is, the reason that I feel a strong ally for anybody who is in that situation is I'll call you what you want to be called. I'm not going to do something that I think is offensive to you.
Yeah.
And if I have to stop using that en masse, then I will. Like if you tomorrow said, I don't want to be called red, I want to be called blue. I'm not going to say, well, 1, your hair is red. 2, there is red in your shirt. 3, I'm used to calling you red. 3, red fits you. I mean, it's on the name of your Twitter. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm going to say, you sure you want me to call you blue? You're going to say yeah. And I'm going to start calling you blue because that's something that's personal to you that causes me no problems.
I feel like people would think I was like you out here some shit. Like, why she always why everybody calling her blue? She's
I could
saying
have used any color.
Yeah.
But, blue is the natural,
That's actually my favorite color. If I could dye my hair blue, I would, but I gotta work. So they barely let me get away with this red shit. So I ain't gonna push the envelope.
Yeah. But I would call you whatever you wanted to be called because it don't cause me no problems, and that's where a big part of my issues come with the dialogue we have in society, where it pertains to snowflakes and all these things. I don't think the First Amendment, as it pertains to being able to say what you want, I don't think it's really about the freedom of speech. I think it's about the comfort of being able to say what you want to say, even if it's offensive to somebody. Yeah. And that's not what the First Amendment is supposed to protect.
You're going to catch these hands. You can say what you want to say. That's a situation where you're going to catch these hands.
The First Amendment is supposed to protect government action from those words. Mm-hmm. It doesn't protect you from the individual feelings or experience. So if somebody that you say something to want to put some paws on you, want to put hands on you, or want to give you them bops, then that don't have nothing to do with the First Amendment.
No.
And if somebody like me or like Red or women don't want to be called something, then that's not infringing upon your First Amendment rights.
No.
And stopping doing it is just something kind to do.
Yep.
Just something respectful.
Like if you don't want me to refer to you as a bitch, I won't. But I'm gonna use bitches in general. That's what I do. But I won't call you that.
It's like I don't like being called a monkey, but a white man, he been calling people monkeys for 30 years. And so he mad at me because I'm finally saying, hey, I'm tired of being called a monkey. Oh, you just soft. You a snowflake.
You finna be soft too, cause I'm finna meat mash your face with these hands. I'm gonna tenderize that face.
Don't do that.
But don't call me a monkey.
He been doing it for years, Red.
Well, you finna catch these hands. It stops today. The buck stops here.
Then he gonna call you monkey.
Why monkey?
Because you just whooped him. He gonna call
you. You want to get another whooping? Look, when my mama whooped me for some shit, I did not do it at least for a few days, or I did it in a better way where I didn't get caught. I wasn't gonna go back to her face and do the shit. I was just gonna get another whooping. So it's something wrong with you. Nah, you right. I ain't gonna fuck with you because you must be crazy. If you get your ass stomped out and then go right back and do that same thing right again, you crazy and I'm not finna fuck with you.
Yeah.
I ain't giving you these hands again because I'm scared. The fuck is wrong with you? I wish y'all could see this face that he is baking when he makes that.
But anyway, that's all I got.
All right.
What else do you have on your mind?
Nothing. That's it.
I was going to bake a pound cake today. I guess I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
I've started using duck eggs for things, and so now I'm about to experiment. So I'll let y'all know how that turn out later. But if you can find some duck eggs, you should try to bake with them.
Quack, quack.
Okay. Anyway, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.